All right, we got 10 times wrestlers were horrible to fans. This is by What Culture Wrestling. Let's get it. You know what sucks? I just recorded another video. My mic was muted, bro. So if it did it this time too, I'm gonna crash out.
Wrestlers are human beings. I know, it's really rather shocking. It does mean they're not always going to be nice on occasion. I know that can be disappointing because you see your favorite sports entertainer and you walk up to them and you think you can have a nice interaction, and they basically flip you. Sometimes this goes way too in the wrong direction though, so I thought we could run down 10 of these today. Well, apparently I'm dressed like a sailor. That's what everybody says when I do wear this.
This nigga's dressed like he's about to go into Tough Enough, bro.
Well, my name is Simon Miller.
About to head to the Performance Center.
Choo-choo. Now that would be a train. Turn the Ultimate Warrior has to say sorry. So you can see this on the A&E documentary about the Ultimate Warrior, and the headline would be...
He was mean to fans?
Great. It was all off the back of an incident in an airport, though, when a very smart child looked at one Jim Hellwick and thought, man, even without your makeup and face paint, I know you're the Ultimate Warrior. So
I mean, duh.
Asked for an autograph.
It's a Hulk with a fucking...
Apparently, the Ultimate One said flub off squirt, but he did not use the word flub. And this caused such a hoo-ha, it did get back to the WWF management, who told the Ultimate Warrior...
Wait, he told a kid fuck off squirt.
Listen, you need to go into this room. You're going to have to film an apology video. It's even harder to watch the Warrior do this because he clearly is not in the mood. Which is also when we can go to Bret Hart's autobiography.
Why are you so mean?
More, which is when we go number 9, The Ultimate Warrior again. Now, first and foremost, make sure you do go and read
Twice?
the book because it's totally great.
I'm not reading that.
Yeah, when you do get to this story, it'll make you feel sad in your tum-tum. Hart does indeed talk about a time, though, when he was backstage at an event.
Yo, Ultimate Warrior looks crazy as hell, bro. Or looks crazy as hell, R.I.P.
And everybody was told, can you please make a big deal out of this kid? It stands to reason. The Triad also apparently was dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior, and while all the other superstars did go and say hello, the word on the street is the Ultimate Warrior never made the trip. He's also alleged to have said, I'm busy, I'll go in a minute. And listen, I don't know what's true and what's not true.
Gang, you know what's true.
This story
Come on,
has been recounted a lot. If that is the case, well, we could all stand to be a little bit nicer. I mean, given that Brett remembered this all those years removed too, it's just a bad, bad time. Number 8, CM Punk goes off in Chicago. But I want to make it clear, we are now deviating to a very different atmosphere.
No, wait, CM Punk was mean to someone in Chicago?
Everything is fair game.
I find it hard to believe, bro.
Mean, but he's mean within the confines of the story or the wrestling thingamajig. That is totally cool. It's
called kayfabe.
AEW run though and came in August 2022. And actually now when we do go back to that timeline, as we have figured out, CM weren't having the best occasion. The idea, given that we were in Chicago, is that CM...
My God, that attire is trash.
...speech to go absolutely crazy, especially because the All Out pay-per-view was coming up, and he was going to take on Jon Moxley. This is when some fan of the crowd decided, I'm going to heckle CM Punk, which you probably shouldn't do, because he's very good with a microphone. And without
yo, heckling CM Punk got to be one of the dumbest things you can do.
I love everybody here in Chicago, but not you, fat boy.
See what I'm saying, bro? Why would you...
Maybe I probably...
Why would you fuck around and find out with CM Punk, of all people? I don't understand what the plan was. Like, you know it's CM Punk. You're here at the show. Like, you know not to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have known better, game. You got flamed. That's on you.
And look, I know it was funny, but sometimes delivery is funny, but it's also a very good life lesson. If you are going to come at a wrestler in a ring, maybe don't come at somebody like CM Punk. Number 7, intimidates a fan. And now we have another one of these, sort of. Because if you do go back to the ECW or something, bro. And we had Bubba Ray Dudley, this guy did not care. If you were going to shout things at him, when he was making his way to the ring, he would get right in your face.
Yo, Bubba Ray Dudley is genuinely, like, insane. You can see it in his eyes, bro.
I suppose another one of these experiences did happen in 2019. This was our Ring of Honor show, though, and as the Allure stable were making their way to the ring, some fan decided to shout out, man, you're nothing but Tramp Stamp Trio. Now, once again, I get we all want to have fun at these shows.
What do you say?
Stamp Trio. Now,
the Tramp Stamp Trio. Okay.
Have fun at these shows. Don't have to be a super duper mega dick. Well, this guy who was a part of this group eventually fired back and said, man, you ain't nothing but a virgin. When this fan then apparently replied, you are having sex with that fat turd known as Bubba Ray. Man,
yo, come on, bro.
The word out there has always been that this got so out of control eventually.
Who said that? Oshkosh, Big Josh?
The word out there has always been that this got so out of control eventually the man was taken to the back. Given that Bully Ray was kind of helping with Ring of Honor shows during this time, he told the dude to calm it down. And apparently it all got very wishy-washy. Because not only did Ring of Honor launch an internal investigation, but around the same time, Kevin Owens went and found this guy and gave him free tickets to a WWE event.
That's funny.
You're gonna have to make your own mind up. Comments number 6. Vader totally goes crazy. Now this did happen on a Create News.
Another
channel.
insane looking person.
The guy who was asking the questions was probably a fan. So I guess you could argue he wasn't a fan at all because he made the cardinal error of turning to Big Van Vader and basically being like, oh, why is wrestling so fake? And the best part about this video is the Undertaker is there. He basically face palms because he doesn't want to get into this. Whereas the Masked Man decides, you know what? I'm going to rough you up. Basically did. He even told him to come to the show later so he could kick his ass for real. Surprise, surprise, Vader was put in a Kuwait jail.
I ain't gonna lie. Vader might eat you, bro. You don't want that smoke. Look at him. That's a big man, bro. He means what he says, bro. Like, that nigga will eat you. I ain't gonna lie. He will.
And at one point, it even felt like he wasn't going to make his way back to the USA, where thankfully all of the countries figured it out. Vader did have to pay a small fee before he was able to do this, so it's just a nice reminder, whether you're a fan or not a fan, just respect people or be like Mark Calloway. Like I say, it's my favorite thing.
Mark
about
Calloway? Is that Vader?
Don't think
Who's Mark Calloway?
Blinks his eyes. Number 5, Sasha Banks gets some heat. So we all know the deal with wrestling these days, and that can
You mean Mercedes Moné?
When a bad guy does walk to the ring, you can boo and you can shout.
A lot of people hate her. I don't know why. I haven't looked into it.
Deep down in our tootsie toes, we all know what's going on. Sometimes a wrestler does see an opportunity though, when they can piss the audience off for real, which is exactly what Sasha Banks did when she was having that iron match with Bayley at NXT TakeOver. So after smacking Bayley in the face, Sasha realised, well, I've got loads of time, because again, we've got an hour here, when she decided to prance in front of the fans, when she laid her eyes on NXT superfan Izzy. Everybody knew how much she loved the
Oh, is he the one who, isn't she like a wrestler now? I think she's a wrestler now, bro, in the indies. And she's like, you know, taking after Bayley, which is super cool.
Headband off her head, and I suppose this piece of clothing was the equivalent of gold, because this audience, this crowd could not handle it. My word.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
Is on NXT superfan Izzy. Everybody knew how much she loved the hugger, so instantly Banks just took the headband off her head. And I suppose this piece of clothing was the equivalent of gold, because this audience, this crowd could not handle it.
I mean, low key, yeah. A Bayley headband. You know how much did every merch cost?
Especially got mad, because how could you do this to somebody's child? Just to sum it up in a nice, small, neat little
That's awesome.
It's very, very good. Number 4, MJF throws a drink, which was sort of like this. This one definitely created more of a stir. And once again, it did happen during the Iron Man match. MJF was taken on Bryan Danielson, and because wrestlers do have a bunch of time to kill, eventually Freeman went into the audience where he saw a mother and her child when he took the drink out of her hand and he threw it into the kid's face. Now this probably would have caused
MJF, nigga, that, okay, hold on. Into his face is crazy. Throwing it into his face is crazy. What?
Anyway, when it turned out that the drink in question was tequila, and everybody had a little bit of a meltdown. I mean, apparently, even a bunch of wrestlers backstage.
He fumbled. He fumbled. He thought it was water. He thought it was water. It wasn't water. It was the worst thing you can throw in someone's face. Okay. Especially a kid.
Like, oh my gosh, he's gone too far.
Bro.
But again, if you do like it when wrestling creates some real heat.
And I know that drink was mad expensive too.
So once again, it's something you can debate in the comments. Is there a line when it comes to heel ship, if that is a word? Should you be able to do whatever the hell you want to do? Number 3, Scott Hall's rib. I don't mean like the bone that's in here. I am talking about practical jokes. You all know that Scott Hall was a massive character, and if it wasn't for his very many sad personal issues, he probably would have been a multi-time world champion. But even with all those, my word, did he leave his mark. We do go back to Bret Hart's autobiography for this one, because he talked about Razor Ramon in the WWF, and a somewhat cruel trick he used to play on his fans that did want an autograph. Now, I suppose it depends on the person, but every now and then, allegedly, apparently, he would tell a kid, or a woman, don't worry, pal, I'm absolutely going to sign that. And then, yep, he would go away, and he would never come back. And given this is the same guy that used to say,
yo, that's fucked.
Oh, great finish.
That's fucked, bro.
I can't wait to kick out of it. kind of think that Scott Hall kind of had a dark sense of humor and he was going to ride that way. He was also the ultimate wind-up merchant, but again, if you are a small fan and this happens to you, of course you're going to be upset. We are but human. Personally speaking though, I like to think of it this way. If I was
kinda funny, though.
and this had happened to me, and then I grew up into the adult male that I am right now, I would much rather than this experience than an autograph. People don't even care about names on a piece of paper anymore, but if I could retell this story,
Yeah, you're bugging.
I would be a king and a prince.
Fuck that story. I want the autograph. That's
But
bread,
it's not
bro.
wrong. Look at me. If you go through my life, it's like wrestling with
And
tell than an autograph.
in the spirit of fucked up jokes, and he's passed now. Like, yo, that autograph would have been worth a lot now, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You talking about bands on bands, bro? Fuck that story. I wanted the autograph.
People don't
That's just
even
me,
care
though.
about names on a piece of paper anymore, but if I could retell this story, well, I would be a king and a prince. Number 2, Triple H calls us marks. I mean, it's not wrong.
What does that mean?
If you go through my life, it's like wrestling went bleh and threw up all over my face. But I tell you, I'm good with it. Most of us do remember this though, because it was 2015 and Triple H marched to the ring. He decided he was going to create some chaos. Because in response
What does that
to a lot
mean?
of
You're all
negativity
marks.
that was heading
I gotta
in
shut up.
WWE's direction, he just said, well, you know what? Me and my friend Mark are going to go online. We're going to tell everyone we're going to stop watching the show. Listen, I can't lie. Did think it was quite funny. Hunter also did this again before an NXT event where he was like, well, how's your territory doing? And I said, give me more of it, man. It's inside of baseball gone nuts. And yes, it's totally condescending and I understand why it pushed some people's buttons.
I have no idea what is
Wouldn't
happening.
you rather have this fun than none of it at all? I say yes.
I think I'm
Don't
slow,
let
bro.
the Shut us down. Number 1, Vince McMahon says goodbye to Kurt Angle. This has been a contentious issue for years, and I totally get it. Kurt Angle should have been able to choose his retirement opponent. I do want to make it clear, though, that it is not.
God damn,
Vince
Vince McMahon is ugly.
Just doing his job. And if WWE had actually used that to enhance his character, well, he could have ridden this for the next 5 years. But yes, at WrestleMania, when Kurt decided to retire, it was decided that Baron would be the final opponent. And as many ex-writers have now told us,
That's
when
a
they said
weird
to
final
Vince
opponent,
McMahon,
bro.
Listen, we think we should go in a different direction because the fans don't like it. The word is McMahon said, flub the fans. And as always, he didn't say flub. And I suppose that's going to be the same way he reacts when people keep telling him to
Fuck
turn
the fans.
Roman Reigns into
I mean,
a heel. And it happened
Is that
once
not like the human embodiment of Vince McMahon's character? Fuck the fans.
again after that 2019 Hell in a Cell match.
Literally
There have been
and
countless
metaphorically.
reports about this one, how when they saw Vince after the fact, and even though the fans were going nuts, McMahon laughed like, ha 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 ha, we totally got them, the bunch of idiots. We talk about being attacked. So I would guess that McMahon
I wonder how many
thought
times
any
Mr.
reaction
Mr.
would be
McMahon had that
reaction.
laugh.
It's
And
not true.
there are a bunch of
I
idiots
mean, just
left.
compare it to the new era in WWE. One of the best things they have started doing is going, oh my gosh, this is what the audience wants. Let's just give it to them. And what happens? We all feel warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. That's the point of wrestling. It's meant to be entertaining.
Warm and fuzzy in our
Now,
tum-tums.
please, if you do
I don't
have
think
any
I can start
personal
using that,
experience
bro.
for a
I
wrestler
might get
being
arrested.
mean to you, drop it in the comments below. Let's have fun with it too. Could be like our own mini roller coaster. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Kick the video on the screen
right.
so I can regale you with more wrestling.
That was a solid video. That deserves a like, first off. I gotta say, I've witnessed some worse shit than this. Like, I've seen on shows, wrestlers grabbing fan signs, ripping that shit in half in front of them. I've seen people, like, slapping their food up their hands. I've seen a lot of shit. So this was pretty, unhinged, too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, I've seen worse. Yeah, let's say worse. I've seen worse, unfortunately.